All right, today is Thursday, October 6, 2011, and we're just going to go over the trades that we made this morning in the live trading room. Let me start out by saying, once again, that we missed more opportunities. We missed some good opportunities, I'll say that. Okay. We did end the morning positive over here on the YM with 21 ticks on the YM. That was two trades, one trade for 20 ticks and one trade for 1. And over here we were minus 10 ticks on the ES. Now I'll go through it all for you and then we'll go through some option talk too. Alright, but let's start out with the ES. Okay, we'll start out with the ES. I'm going to slide this over a little bit. Now, alright. You can see the orange arrows are trades that set up that I did not take. The yellow arrows are trades that set up that I did take. Okay, I'm scrolling back here to the first trade I took. Here it is. This trade right here, we had a bubble down here on the chop bands. You see the red is outside of the black. The first pullback to the BBC was right here. We got long. I ended up taking a little bit of profit on this. I meant to move my stop up to break even plus a point actually, and I slipped. Actually, I think I was moving it up to break even, and I slipped in the market. Grabbed me at plus 3 ticks. Anyway, this trade worked out. Okay, so that was fine. We ended up having 3 ticks profit on that one. The next trade that set up, we went through all this area in here where it was choppy, and the BBC stayed inside the box, so we didn't have any opportunities. We came down here to the weekly trading zone, and once we passed through it, we were looking to go short. All right. Right here was the opportunity. Unfortunately, I missed it. It was actually right over here. Was the spot to short? It was right here. I moved my arrow over, but right there was a spot to short. We had the bubble again down here and the pull back up to the BBC. That was a spot to short. I missed that trade, unfortunately, and it easily went on to win. It went on for 3.5 points, I think. All right. Now I'm just going to keep scrolling forward here. We are now I'm going to try to keep scrolling forward here. Make this thing as quick as possible, as long as it'll let me keep scrolling forward. We came back up through that weekly trading zone, and then we had a long opportunity in here. We had the bubble, this big elongated bubble here. It pulled back down to the BBC, and I got long over here underneath these arrows. Once I got long, price moved up, and it got up here. And once it got up here, I was saying that it shouldn't get back down below there, and it started to get back down below. I had moved my stop to 1 tick below this level right here. If I'd have left it alone, we'd have been fine, but I moved it up to 1 tick below there, and it actually came down and got me right there, 1 tick below there, and then moved on to the profit target. So, so far, all 3 trades that were triggered worked, except at this point I was down 2 ticks, I think. The next trade over here, again we had the bubble with the higher swing. It pulled back down to the BBC. That was where we got long. It went sideways for a little while, and once it got up here and it gave me opportunity to lock in at least a break even on the trade, I moved my stop up to break even, and it came back and got me right here. And promptly after that, it went up to hit our target. So it was one of those days for me today. After that, I'm just going through the 4 tick range chart first, okay? And once I'm done with that, I'll move over to the actually, I don't think I took any more trades over here on the 4 tick range chart. No, I didn't. Right over here we had an opportunity, but there was no bubble. Over here we had a bubble, but we couldn't take it because of this area right there. Alright, so there were actually no more opportunities here on the 4 tick range for the rest of the morning. At least there were none that we took. I'm scrolling through right now. This is when we were in the break, so I haven't looked at this part yet on the 4 tick range to see if there were any opportunities. It looks like, yeah, it looks like we didn't get anything over there. So let's move over here to the 10K. I took 2 trades here on the 10,000 contract chart. This first one right here, I took a short trade after it bounced off of the after we went through the weekly trading zone here, and it came up and bounced off the BBC. I shorted the BBC right there, and I ended up taking a break even on that trade. That one did go on for the 2 points. So far we've had, I think we had about 5 trades, and all of them went on for the full 2 points, but I did not get them. Over here, we had, at this point, I was down, I think I was down 3 points, 2 points or 3 points. I was down 2 points, I think, right here. Not 2 points, but 2 ticks. Price came up here and it hit the weekly trading zone. It came back down to the BBC. Now this was the first pullback to the BBC after a bullish cross. I took the trade, though I should have not taken the trade because the weekly trading zone was within 2 points, but I took it, and it stopped me out almost to the tick. It stopped me out, and then it went on. You get those days sometimes. Usually we don't, but sometimes you just get those days. So I was down 10 ticks total. I lost 8 ticks on that one, and I was down 10 ticks total on the morning session for the ES. The YM, as I said, I only took 2 trades on the YM because once it started to move, it really moved. Now let me slide this over a little bit here. You can see it opened up in some chop right here, first thing in the morning. The YM opened up in some chop, so we waited until we had our bearish cross and a nice move down. On the move down, we had a pullback up to the BBC right here. This was the first pullback up to the BBC after the bearish cross. I sold the BBC right here, and I had a target of the MA1 right here. That was 20 ticks away. It was actually 21 ticks away, but I had a 20 tick target. And it quickly went down and hit me right there at my 20 tick target. Alright, so that put me at plus 20 on the YM. Hold on, I'm trying to move this over. We didn't take this trade right here. Price pulled away and we got our bullish cross, but this bar right here came down with a lot of momentum, and we didn't have any pull away after the cross until over here. Now you see it pulled away, but it didn't retrace back to the BBC until right here, and we weren't going to trade it up into the weekly trading zone. It would have worked had we done that, but it's in the rules not to do that. So I waited for the bearish cross. We got the bearish cross right here, and price pulled back up to the BBC, and I shorted it here at the BBC. I was quick with my stop on this because the MA1 was so close. I let it go down to the MA1 right here, and I moved my stop up to break even, and all within the same bar right here. It came up and it took me out at my plus 1 tick, and then it closed down here at the MA1, and the next bar obviously went right down to the target. I didn't take any more trades here on the YM. We had a bullish cross here, but we weren't going to trade into a weekly trading zone. And over here, there was an opportunity right here to trade after the bullish cross right here and a pullback down to the BBC. There was an opportunity right here to get long. It looks like there's another one setting up right here, another opportunity to get long over here on the YM. So, for the record, we ended the morning plus 21 ticks on the YM, minus 10 ticks on the ES. Okay. Now we'll get to the options. Yesterday morning, we were saying we had the signal to start looking at the call options. We were looking at 1120s and 1135s. The 1120s yesterday morning were selling. They were as low as 32 yesterday morning. They're up at 52 right now. And the 1135s yesterday morning were as low as 24, and they're up at 42 right now. I was saying this morning, if we got through this level right here, this 47.48 level, if we got through that with any kind of conviction, then the next area above us is way up there, and we could be looking at multiples again on these. So far, with the new option product, we've had three trades that we put out there, and all 3 of the trades have done really well. If you get out of this one right now, you're still looking okay, and if you held on to those puts, the 1150 puts that went from 30 something all the way up to 90 something, you'd still be just losing a little bit of money right now on those, but they went all the way up to 90, and you definitely should have taken profit on those. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it on the morning session. Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any questions popping up in here, but if nobody's got any questions, then I'm going to wrap it up and pass it on back to Dwayne. and Dwayne will have to pass it to David because Dwayne's audio is going in and out right now. Anyone? All right. Oh, good. 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 Crazy talk. That's just crazy talk. All right. Well, I'm glad. Question about the options. Go ahead. Go ahead, Raja. I'll put this one in the recording. Oh, depending how quickly he types. Or how quickly I have to answer it. Yes. Sure. To all the partners. I will explain that. I'll show you. I'll tell you. I'll text it to you. There is a couple of things. Yep. Yeah. So you don't need to wait for me to tell you, but it's part of being a partner. And speaking of that, tonight is Thursday night. So anyone that's ever been on the free trial that wants to become a partner, send me an email at tech@cfrn.net. That's tech@cfrn.net, and we'll go over this tonight. Raja, I don't know if you're going to be able to make it to the partners meeting tonight, but if you can, we'll go over all that tonight. And if you can't, I'll give you a quick text in here. But the partners, the existing partners, they're grandfathered in. This is probably going to become at some point a separate service. It's probably going to become a separate service that we do. And Bert just said, and if you become a partner and you want to trade these option trades, Bert will help you frame up the trades like he's done, like he's done with some of the other partners that we have. Frame up the trades so that you find. What's that? I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Dwayne just said like he did with me, and yes, that's exactly right. He'll help you frame he'll help you frame them up so that you can look at the different deltas. I was saying the 1120s because that was closest to the strike price that I liked. The 1135s had the delta was about the same, so for a little bit less money, you could have gotten pretty much the same return, and that's essentially what's happened. You see for the difference between the 1120s and the 1135s is about $10 or 10 points, not $10, but 10 points. That's $500. But it is what it is, and that worked out well for Dwayne. Dwayne bought these at 24 yesterday morning. These 1130s. I'm sorry, the 1135s at 24 yesterday morning. Yep, sold them at 40 for a 66% gain in a day. That's not too bad, guys. And the 1120s. Yes. Right. Press. It is. All right. All right, and all that is true. Your maximum risk on any of these is the premium paid for the option once you get into it. Okay, it never goes beyond that. That is the maximum risk. And if it's going to turn around on you, you know, well, I can't say that, but if it's going to turn around on you, you'll more than likely have opportunity to get out and not take a huge loss. All right, I can say that. I think there is usually opportunity for you to get out. All right, and that is that. That was the morning. So we ended up plus 21 ticks on the YM and minus 10 ticks on the ES for the morning session. All right, had you taken all the ES trades and let them all run the full 2 points, you would have been, I think plus 24 ticks on the morning instead of minus 10. Yes. I do. That's all right. Oh, I think I just ran my. That's all right. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to shut the recorder off here. All right, and this is the results for the morning session.